What's going on? It's day 2 of planting potatoes. I got almost everything in yesterday of the Yukon Golds, in between rainstorms, in the mud. I'm filthy. I'm still literally wearing the same filthy clothes I wore yesterday because I'm back in the mud again and everything is soaking wet. Plain. This is literally becoming a running joke with the channel. Anyhow, so I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to show you something. Hang on. So, when you're planting your potatoes, basically you're looking for something like that, maybe a little bigger, but generally this is what you're looking for, right? That's getting a little long, right? That's about 8 inches. We're gonna try something. See if I can get it. How's that? That's about 2 feet. Okay? I would never normally plant these. One, it's a real headache to plant them, okay? And two, normally when they get to this point, I'm just throwing them away and buying seed potatoes. And by the way, this is not the longest vine that I have here. So most of you would probably also throw those away. But we're gonna do an experiment this year. So I'll flip the camera around, I'll show you what we've done so far, and then I'll show you how we're gonna plant these. And I've got a little stick here. We're gonna put this at the end of the row where we plant these, and we're gonna do an experiment. Because I mean, if you guys have been watching my channel for a couple of years, you know I do experiments every single year to see what grows, what doesn't. We do a little bit of weird things, different planting styles and whatever. So we're gonna try planting these potatoes. So I'll show you where we're at. I gotta dig a trench still for these and put in amendments. I'll show you those as I go. And then I'll show you how we're planting. So here's all the potatoes we got in yesterday. You can see everything was going pretty nice straight rows. And then we get to this. This was literally getting planted in a storm. I was soaking wet, covered in mud. Look, I'm still filthy. My boots aren't even dry from yesterday. So that's all Yukon Golds, all the way over there. And then you see the tag here, that's where we started the russets today. You can see the fresh soil. So what we're gonna do, and when I said they're long vines, guys, I'm not joking, okay? I've put those aside. Oh, and I'm stepping on my other seed potatoes. That's great. Yeah, well, whatever. So we're gonna dig a trench right here. We're gonna plant them. So I'll get that trench dug, then I'll show you the amendments I'm using, and then we'll work our way through this. Soil amendments we're putting in with the potatoes. This is azomite rock dust. That's like multivitamins for your plants. We're using Miracle-Gro. I'm not a big fan normally of Miracle-Gro, but this has good stuff in it. And then we're using pelletized sulfur. This is going to prevent your potatoes from getting potato scab. So we'll just slap that down in the trench. In 15 feet of trench, you don't need a full handful of the sulfur. Gonna use the rest of the azomite rock dust because I don't need to plant anything else with it today. And then we're just gonna sprinkle some of this down. All right, let's get these potatoes ready. Here's the plan. Here's the beginning of the trench. It runs down that way. What I'm gonna start with is I'm gonna put one potato with a long vine first, and then I'm going to put a standard seed potato, and then a long vine, then a standard seed potato I've got 4 of these to put in. And the reason I'm doing that is because if I just put in the potatoes with the long vines starting here, I'm not going to have any potato plants coming up out of the ground for about 3 feet, right? Because the plant is going to come up where the end of the vine breaks through the surface of the soil. So I'm going to plant a vine, then a normal one, then a vine, then a normal one, and then these will help fill in the gap. So take a long vine, put it in, and now we're going to run it down the trench and then pull the top out further down the trench, lay in a seed potato about 8 inches away, another long vine, pull the top out of the trench, a seed potato, long vine, another potato, long vine. That one's a little short. We can use that at the end. Like that. And then, all right, can you guys see what's happening here? You see how we're running it down the length and then pulling it up to the side? The reason we're pulling it up the side, and I'm gonna lay the potatoes against this inner lip, is because I've got my whole ridge of soil. So when I pull it in, I'm gonna pull it in and it's gonna press on those potatoes and hold them in place and hold those vines in place. See? So I'm gonna finish the rest of the trench, and before I fill it in, I'll show you what it looks like. We have about 15 feet. So we got them in. Only took a minute. So you see how I've just draped them up? I pulled them right up the sides. They say that's how you're supposed to do it, apparently. So, and then all these tops are just going to start turning into potatoes. They're going to look like this. All right, that's my neighbor's plot. So this is what we're going for. So now basically we just fill it back in with soil, and like I said, I'll pull the soil onto it, pressing those potatoes and the vines into the side. Okie dokie, we got it filled in, it's mounded up. We're gonna take that stick, whoop, like that, push it right here, and so we'll see now if they grow the same way the rest have. And it's funny because only my russet potatoes did this. You can see where some of the vines are sticking out, right? Right there, there's a bunch right there. They had smaller vines. And then the Yukon Golds only had beautiful little sprouts coming off them. They were much easier to plant. So that's it for potatoes. I'm not going to bother planting those. I don't have the energy or the inclination to waste my time on those. So now, this is my new garden bed. For you guys that are wondering, you're like, that doesn't look familiar. This is my new garden bed I just picked up. It's 40 by 15 or something. I haven't even measured. So now I have from the edge of those potatoes over to there to plant. We've got 4 cantaloupes right in there. We had a honeydew in here, and that is all that's left of it. So something's killed it. Maybe it drowned. Maybe the bugs ate it. I'm not too sure. So my kids want watermelons, so I have a feeling that I'm probably going to go pick up some watermelon and plant half a dozen watermelon plants in here and just let it fill in that area, because this is basically, for the most part, this whole bed is going to be a no maintenance sort of process here, because I've got those 2 big beds over there that occupy a lot of my time. So this is going to be basically, for the most part, unmaintained. We're going to feed them and water them when necessary, We're going to mulch those in a couple of weeks. Once they've started to grow, I'll get a couple of bales of straw and we'll just mulch all those mounds. And because you don't want your potatoes getting into the sunlight, but I've buried them so deep that the only thing I'm worried about is potato growth later on in the season. So that's it. That's the experiment we're doing with those potatoes. We're going to see if those ones vine. I've got the stick in the ground like I showed you. Oh, I'm looking over the camera. So I poked that stick in the ground so we know for sure which one is that one. And I will do an update video in give or take a month, and we'll see if those russets are growing at the same pace and at the same rate of growth, whether they actually grow compared to the other rows of russets right beside it. So if you guys find this video helpful at all, if you want to see what's going to happen with these potatoes and you're not a subscriber, hit that little bell. Subscribe to the channel. Give me a big thumbs up, guys. Leave me a comment. And tell me if you guys have planted potatoes with vines this long and what your results were. So that way people that read the comments have an idea of whether they can do this. It's June 8th, 2024 right now. I think it's the 8th. It's Sunday. It's not too late to plant potatoes. Give her shit. Grow potatoes. Grow good food. I'll see you on the next one.